As Prince Yuri and his battalions draw near to the heat of the battlefield, the other knight commander projects his voice with absolute certainty, announcing the arrival of Briol. He barks orders at the soldiers currently engaged in combat to split their ranks and carve out a path leading directly to the fortress. Responding instantly, the troops transition into a strategic line, shoving the Orcish hordes backward to ensure Briol has an unobstructed route to the stronghold. With the path now clear, Yuri commands his men to accelerate their pace and follow his lead, a command met with a unified roar of agreement from the army. As Yuri's steed closes the gap, he sights a massive siege tower. A nearby voice shouts the suggestion to utilize the structure as a ramp to charge straight into the heart of the fortress. However, Yuri's expression suddenly hardens into one of grim seriousness. An orc has successfully smashed through the friendly defensive line and is charging directly at the prince to intercept him. Rather than flinching, Yuri sneers, daring the beast to approach, as this was precisely the opponent he had been seeking. Channeling a brilliant white magical aura into his spear, he takes precise aim and hurls the weapon with devastating velocity. The orc managed to intercept the projectile by crossing his axes, absorbing the brunt of the impact before deflecting the spear into the dirt. Yet, as the orc looks up, he finds that Yuri has already closed the distance with incredible speed. Caught off guard and stunned by the prince's agility, the orc is helpless as Yuri draws his blade and beheads him with a single, fluid, and catastrophic strike. Watching the orc's head tumble to the earth, Yuri shifts his weight, crouching atop his horse's back in preparation for a leap. He springs upward, soaring through the air to land gracefully upon the siege tower, effectively announcing his heroic presence to the surrounding enemies. Looking down upon the sea of foes beneath him, Yuri remarks that he has long anticipated this specific moment. With a gaze of intense ferocity, he declares to all within earshot that this represents the final conflict of the long-standing war. From his vantage point atop the tower, Yuri observes a staggering number of orcs radiating a sinister black aura. He is not surprised by this, musing that the presence of such energy indicates that enemy shamans have been stationed here as well. Jared soon approaches Yuri, reporting that all necessary preparations have been executed exactly as ordered. Yuri offers his praise for the efficient work. Surveying the enemy, Jared notes that these orcs are elite troops further empowered by dark sorcery, reminiscent of their previous encounter. Yuri confirms this grim reality, adding that their dispelling techniques will be ineffective against them this time around. Despite the stakes, a calm smile touches Yuri's lips as he remarks that the stage is set and it is time to begin the performance. He instructs a soldier named Simon to hoist the flag, signaling their precise location to the high command. In immediate response, two soldiers raise a dual banner consisting of red and blue flags. Yuri then leaps from the heights of the tower, beckoning his comrades to follow. Far across the expanse of the battlefield at the main commanding unit, a lookout spots the signal and shouts that it is intended for Supreme Commander Ranga. Observing the flags, Ranga realizes that Yuri has successfully identified Akua's exact position. A smirk crosses the commander's face, his golden eyes shimmering with the realization that the tide of war is shifting. He orders his subordinates to return the signal and call forth the elite reinforcements. As the signal is relayed, the resonant blast of war horns fills the sky. Jose chuckles at the sound, noting that the long-awaited moment has finally arrived. Sylvia, Fennec, bursts forward with lethal, blurring speed, while Graham maintains a look of intense focus as he watches the tactical movements unfold. The entirety of the Allied forces charges toward the fortress in a singular wave, driven by the desire for national glory. Eventually, the Allied forces link up with the Briol army. Before the primary assault begins, Yuri stands before his gathered elite warriors. The atmosphere shifts from the chaos of battle to one of heavy, somber determination. Looking into the eyes of Jose, Sylvia, and the others, Yuri speaks with a steady, unwavering voice, delivering their ultimate objective. He asks if they have been fully briefed, then reiterates while gesturing toward the enemy that their specific role is to claim the head of the enemy leader, Akua, while the main force secures the rear. As the elite troops of the orcs, pulsing with corrupt black magic, surge forward, Yuri draws his sword and points it defiantly at the enemy. He commands his followers to fight with every ounce of their strength. Infusing his blade with a white magical radiance, a small, confident smile plays on his lips, the look of a man who has already envisioned his victory. With a thrill of excitement, he urges them to survive the coming slaughter. The engagement begins with violent, bone-crushing clashes. Jose utilizes his swift swordsmanship to slice through an orc's chest, while Yuri finds himself locked in a fierce exchange of blows with an elite orc. Sylvia tears through the enemy ranks, spreading a palpable sense of terror. Displaying the dignified posture of a true knight, Sylvia coordinates with Fennec to dismantle the Orcish resistance. Observing this seamless teamwork, Jared marvels at the glory of a battlefield where people of such diverse origins and statuses can trust one another with their lives. Jose raises his sword to the sky, enchanting it with a swirling blue magical aura that forms a powerful whirlpool, allowing him to rapidly cut down numerous orcs. On the other side of the fray, Yuri finds the struggle more taxing, as the elite orcs prove to be resilient targets. Recognizing him as the heart of the army, the orcs throw themselves at him relentlessly. Yuri parries an incoming strike and, after deflecting the blow, wraps his sword in a vibrant green light, shattering the orc into pieces. As he stands tall amidst the carnage, another orc attempts a lethal assault. Yuri shifts his gaze, meeting the attacker head-on and holding his ground against the overwhelming force before deflecting the strike. However, in the middle of this chaos, a sudden sense of cold dread washes over Yuri. He realizes with growing unease that Aqua has remained eerily motionless and that Master Moyong-chan is still nowhere to be seen. He thrusts his sword through the chest of an attacking orc, his mind racing with a sense of déjà vu. Despite their clear advantage, something feels wrong. Just as he questions what he might have overlooked, a massive eruption of purple shadow energy bursts from the earth. The sinister power begins to coalesce around Aqua's body. Yuri's expression turns to one of horror as he realizes the gravity of the situation. He screams Aqua's name and rushes desperately toward him. As the violet energy completely envelopes Aqua's form, the leader opens eyes that are a terrifying, dark red, burning with pure hatred. Aqua confronts Yuri with a surge of anger, raising his hand and slamming it into the ground, triggering a cataclysmic explosion. Yuri manages to retreat just in time to avoid the blast. With a chilling, mocking voice, Aqua asks if the prince has noticed the truth yet, stating that it is already far too late. He ridicules the dull prince, revealing that the trap has been reversed. Yuri did not find his target, but rather walked straight into a slaughterhouse, where he is destined to become a living sacrifice.